This audiobook is not here to motivate you. It is here to train you. Motivation fades. Emotion changes. But training rewires who you are under pressure. Most people don't lose because they are weak. They lose because they are untrained. Untrained minds react. They panic under pressure. They hesitate when it matters. They give control to emotions, to circumstances, to other people. And once you lose control of your mind, everything else follows. Life doesn't test your intelligence first. It tests your composure. It tests your discipline. It tests your ability to stay calm when things don't go your way. If you haven't trained your mind, those moments will expose you. This audiobook is built for those moments. Moments when you feel pressure rising in your chest. Moments when emotions want to take over. Moments when one reaction could cost you respect, money, relationships, or self-trust. Winning in life isn't about always being right. It's about staying in control long enough to make the right move. That's what mental training is. Not positive thinking, not affirmations, not hype. Training. The same way the body needs resistance to grow stronger, the mind needs structure, discipline, and repetition. Without that, the mind becomes reactive by default. Reactive minds chase comfort. Reactive minds avoid discomfort. Reactive minds collapse under uncertainty. Trained minds operate differently. They pause, they observe, they choose, and that pause is where power lives. This audiobook is designed to help you build that pause, not once, not occasionally, but consistently. You don't need to change your personality. You don't need to become emotionless. You need to become stable. Calm under pressure is not a personality trait. It is a trained skill. Discipline is not something you either have or don't have. It is something you build through standards and repetition. Clarity in chaos is not luck. It is the result of a mind that has been trained to cut noise and focus on what matters. In every situation, there is a winner and a reactor. The winner doesn't always succeed immediately, but they stay in control. The reactor might feel justified, emotional, expressive, but they lose leverage. This audiobook is about shifting you from reaction to control, from impulse to intention, from emotional decision-making to disciplined action. Over the next 70 minutes, you will go through 8 core mental training principles. Each chapter focuses on one skill, not theory, not philosophy for entertainment. Training principles you can apply immediately. You will learn how to stay calm under pressure, how to control your reactions, how to build mental endurance when things get uncomfortable, how to think clearly when situations feel chaotic, how to train the voice inside your head instead of being controlled by it, how to show up consistently even when motivation disappears. This is not about becoming perfect. It's about becoming reliable. Reliable under stress. Reliable under uncertainty. Reliable when it matters most. Because the person you become in difficult moments is the person who defines your life. If you train your mind, you don't need to fear situations. You stop asking, what if things go wrong? And start thinking, whatever happens, I stay in control. That mindset changes everything. This audiobook does not promise shortcuts. It does not promise instant transformation. What it offers is something more valuable, a system, a way of thinking, a way of responding, a way of showing up. If you listen passively, nothing will change. If you listen actively and apply what you hear, your internal standards will rise. And when your standards rise, your behavior follows. Throughout this audiobook, you will hear simple principles repeated in different forms. That repetition is intentional, because training is repetition. You don't build strength by lifting once. You don't build discipline by deciding once. You don't build control by understanding once. You build it by showing up again and again. So as you listen, don't rush. Let the ideas settle. Notice where your current habits conflict with what you're hearing. That discomfort is part of the training. By the end of this audiobook, you won't be a different person, but you will be more controlled, more grounded, more deliberate. And that is how winning actually starts. Not with motivation, not with confidence, but with a trained mind. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Win your inner game. First, winning doesn't start outside of you. It starts in the space most people never train, their inner game. Before results show up in your work, your relationships, or your decisions, they show up in your thoughts. Before you lose a situation externally, you usually lose it internally first. Most people don't realize this because the inner loss is quiet. It happens when doubt interrupts focus, when emotion hijacks judgment, when hesitation replaces clarity. By the time the external failure appears, the inner battle has already been decided. That's why training your mind is not optional. It's foundational. If your inner world is unstable, no strategy will save you. If your inner world is chaotic, no opportunity will last. The first rule of mental training is simple. You must win inside before you can win outside. Many people try to fix outcomes without fixing the system that creates them. They chase better habits without addressing the mindset that breaks those habits under pressure. They want confidence without training the behaviors that earn it. Confidence without control is fragile. Discipline without clarity is exhausting. Ambition without emotional regulation is self-sabotage. The inner game is the operating system behind everything you do. When it's weak, even small challenges feel overwhelming. When it's strong, chaos becomes manageable. Look at how people react when something doesn't go their way. Some panic, some complain, some blame, some shut down. Those reactions are not personality traits. They are symptoms of an untrained inner game. A trained mind doesn't eliminate emotion. It organizes it. It creates space between stimulus and response. It slows the moment down just enough for choice to exist. That space is everything. Because the moment you react automatically, you hand control away. To your emotions, to other people, to circumstances you don't fully understand. Winning the inner game means reclaiming that control. It means becoming the kind of person who doesn't get pulled off course easily. Not because life becomes easier, but because you become steadier. This steadiness is not natural. It is built. Most people let their inner world be shaped by whatever happens around them. News, social media, other people's moods, unexpected problems. They live in reaction mode. Reaction mode is dangerous. In reaction mode, your standards drop. Your patience disappears. Your long-term thinking collapses into short-term relief. You say things you later regret. You make decisions you later justify instead of respect. Winning the inner game means exiting reaction mode permanently. It means choosing to be proactive with your mental state instead of passive. This starts with awareness. You cannot control what you don't notice. Most people don't notice their inner dialogue. They don't notice the tension in their body when pressure shows up. They don't notice how quickly their focus fractures under stress. Training begins by noticing without judgment. Notice when your mind rushes ahead. Notice when it catastrophizes. Notice when it seeks comfort instead of progress. Noticing is not weakness. It is the first act of discipline. Once you notice, you can interrupt. The interruption is where training becomes real. When you feel the urge to react, pause, not to suppress the feeling, but to observe it. Ask yourself one question: what would a controlled response look like right now? That question alone begins to shift power back to you. Controlled responses are rarely dramatic. They don't look impressive in the moment. They don't release tension instantly, but they protect your long-term position. Emotional reactions feel powerful for a few seconds. Controlled responses build power over time. This is where most people fail the inner game. They choose relief over respect, expression over effectiveness, short-term comfort over long-term control. A trained mind understands something simple. Every situation has two layers: the external event and your internal response. You don't always control the event. You always control the response. The moment you confuse those two, you lose leverage. People say things like, "He made me angry. She stressed me out. That situation forced my hand." Those statements sound normal, but they reveal surrender. When you give credit to external forces for your internal state, you quietly accept weakness. Winning the inner game means removing that language from your thinking. Nothing makes you react. You react because your mind was not trained to pause. That pause can be built. At first, it feels uncomfortable. You will feel the urge to respond quickly, to defend yourself, to explain, to prove. That urge is the training signal. Just like muscle soreness tells you growth is happening, mental discomfort tells you the inner game is being challenged. Most people escape that discomfort. They distract themselves. They justify their reactions. They tell themselves, "That's just who I am." But that sentence is a lie. Who you are is not fixed. Who you are under pressure is trained. The inner game is trained through small, boring repetitions. You don't wait for big moments to practice control. You practice it in minor frustrations, in traffic, in conversations, in delays, in misunderstandings. Those moments are not interruptions. They are the training ground. If you can't stay composed in small situations, you won't suddenly become composed in big ones. This is why winning starts inside. You build trust with yourself. Every time you pause instead of reacting, you reinforce a new identity. I am someone who stays in control. That identity compounds. Over time, something changes. Your body stays calmer under pressure. Your breathing stabilizes faster. Your thoughts become less scattered. Not because life improved, but because your internal standards rose. Standards are the backbone of the inner game. A standard is a rule you follow regardless of mood. For example, I don't raise my voice to feel powerful. I don't rush decisions to escape discomfort. I don't explain myself when silence is stronger. These standards feel restrictive at first, but they create freedom. They free you from emotional chaos. They free you from regret. They free you from being pulled into unnecessary battles. Winning the inner game also means choosing your battles wisely. Not everything deserves your energy. Not every comment deserves a response. Not every disagreement deserves engagement. Untrained minds feel compelled to react to everything. Trained minds are selective. Selectivity is strength. When you stop reacting to everything, your attention becomes valuable. And where your attention goes, your life follows. Another critical part of the inner game is patience. Patience is not waiting passively. It is maintaining control while time does its work. Impatient minds force outcomes. They speak too soon. They act too early. They reveal weakness without realizing it. Patient minds wait for alignment. They observe patterns. They choose timing deliberately. Timing is a mental skill. The ability to wait without anxiety is a sign of inner stability. This stability changes how others interact with you. Shy people test boundaries unconsciously. They sense reactivity. They sense calm. When they sense reactivity, they push. When they sense calm, they hesitate. This is not manipulation. It is human psychology. A stable inner game creates quiet authority. Not authority that demands attention, authority that commands respect. Respect is rarely earned through intensity. It is earned through consistency. Consistency in tone, consistency in decisions, consistency in behavior under pressure. That consistency starts internally. Winning your inner game does not mean you never feel emotion. It means emotion no longer dictates your behavior. You can feel anger without acting on it. You can feel fear without retreating. You can feel uncertainty without freezing. That separation is mastery. The goal of mental training is not to suppress what you feel. It is to prevent feelings from hijacking your actions. Once you understand this, you stop fighting yourself. You stop trying to be calm all the time. Instead, you focus on being controlled. Control is neutral. Control is grounded. Control is reliable. By the end of this chapter, understand this clearly. Every external win is preceded by an internal one. If you lose the inner game, no strategy can save you. But if you win the inner game, even setbacks become manageable. This is where everything begins. Not with confidence, not with motivation, with control. In the next chapter, you'll learn why discipline, not feelings, is the real foundation of mental strength, and why relying on emotion is one of the fastest ways to lose in life. Chapter 2. Discipline over feelings. Most people believe their feelings should guide their actions. They wake up and ask themselves how they feel. Then they decide what they will or won't do based on that answer. That habit quietly ruins lives. Feelings are unstable. They change with sleep, food, stress, praise, rejection, and circumstances you don't control. If your actions depend on how you feel, your life will be inconsistent by default. Discipline exists to solve that problem. Discipline is not about forcing yourself. It is about removing choice from moments where choice weakens you. A disciplined mind does not debate every action. It follows standards. Untrained minds negotiate with themselves. I'll do it later. I don't feel like it today. I'll start when motivation comes back. Those negotiations feel harmless, but they slowly destroy self-trust. Every time you delay because of feelings, you teach your mind that comfort has authority. And once comfort becomes the authority, discipline collapses. The truth is simple. Feelings are information, not instruction. They tell you what is happening internally. They do not tell you what to do. When feelings become instructions, your behavior becomes reactive and unreliable. Strong minds separate emotion from execution. They feel resistance and act anyway. They feel fear and move forward anyway. They feel boredom and stay consistent anyway. Not because they are numb, but because they understand something most people never learn. Progress does not require motivation. It requires standards. A standard is a rule you follow even when you don't feel like it. You don't brush your teeth only when motivated. You don't stop at red lights based on mood. You don't show up to important commitments only when inspired. Those behaviors are automated by standards. Mental discipline works the same way. You decide in advance who you are and how you act. Then you execute regardless of emotional weather. This removes friction. Instead of asking, "Do I feel like it?" you ask, "Is this aligned with my standard?" That question simplifies life. Most emotional exhaustion comes from constant internal debate. Indecision drains more energy than action. Discipline reduces mental noise. It creates predictability inside your own behavior, and predictability builds trust. Not trust from others first, trust from yourself. Self-trust is powerful. When you trust yourself to follow through, you stop overthinking. You stop seeking reassurance. As you stop second-guessing every decision, you move. This is why disciplined people appear confident. They are not guessing who they will be today. They already decided. Feelings still show up, but they no longer have veto power. This is especially important under pressure. Pressure amplifies emotion. Stress makes feelings louder. Fatigue makes discipline harder. That's when standards matter most. In difficult moments, you don't rise to your potential. You fall to your level of discipline. If your discipline is weak, pressure will expose it. If your discipline is strong, pressure will sharpen it. Many people misunderstand discipline as punishment. They associate it with restriction and suffering. In reality, discipline creates freedom. Freedom from regret. Freedom from emotional swings. Freedom from starting over again and again. Every time you choose discipline over feeling, you strengthen your internal authority. You teach your mind that action is not optional, that standards are non-negotiable. At first, this feels uncomfortable. Your mind will resist. It will look for excuses. It will exaggerate fatigue and discomfort. That resistance is normal. It is the old pattern losing control. The key is not to fight the feeling. It is to ignore its command. You can acknowledge discomfort without obeying it. That skill alone changes everything. Over time, something interesting happens. The resistance gets quieter. The debate shortens. Action becomes easier. Not because feelings improved, but because discipline took the lead. You stop relying on emotional peaks to function. You become steady. Steady people win long games. They don't burn out quickly. And they don't disappear when things get hard. They don't need constant encouragement. They move forward regardless. This consistency builds momentum. Momentum builds identity. Identity reinforces discipline. It becomes a loop. And once that loop is established, life becomes simpler, not easier, simpler. You stop asking how to feel better. You start asking what needs to be done. That shift is maturity. Discipline is not about being harsh. It is about being reliable. Reliable to your goals. Reliable to your standards. Reliable to the person you are becoming. In every situation, feelings will try to lead. Let discipline lead instead. In the next chapter, you will learn how calm becomes a competitive advantage and why those who can stay composed under pressure control outcomes others can't. Chapter 3. Stay calm under pressure. Pressure does not create weakness. It reveals it. When pressure shows up, it doesn't change who you are. It exposes the level of training you've done. Most people believe calm is something you either have or don't have. They think it's personality, temperament, luck. That belief keeps them weak. Calm is not a trait. Calm is a skill. And like any skill, it can be trained. Under pressure, the body reacts first. Breathing shortens, muscles tighten, thoughts speed up. If you don't notice this early, your mind loses control before you realize it. Once the body panics, the mind follows. That's why staying calm starts with awareness, not willpower. You don't force calm, you create the conditions for it. Untrained minds try to push through pressure. They clench, they rush, they override signals. That approach works briefly, then collapses. Trained minds do the opposite. They slow the moment down. They widen their awareness instead of narrowing it. They lower internal urgency. They stabilize before acting. This is not passive, it is strategic. Calm gives you options. Panic removes them. In stressful situations, speed feels powerful, but speed without clarity is dangerous. Most bad decisions are made quickly, not thoughtfully. Calm allows you to see what actually matters. When others rush, you observe. When others react emotionally, you stay neutral. That neutrality creates leverage, because pressure affects everyone. But not everyone responds the same way. Those who stay calm become anchors. Decision makers, leaders, not because they are louder, but because they are steady. Steadiness signals confidence to others, even when you feel uncertainty inside. This is important. Calm does not mean absence of fear. It means fear does not control behavior. You can feel pressure and still think clearly. The mistake most people make is waiting to feel calm before acting. That moment rarely comes. Calm is built through repeated exposure, not avoidance. You don't train calm by escaping stress. You train it by staying present inside it. Small doses, controlled environments. When something triggers you, that is not failure. That is training. Instead of reacting, you pause. Instead of escalating, you breathe. Instead of collapsing into emotion, you ground yourself. Grounding is practical. Slow the breath, lower the shoulders, relax the jaw. These physical actions send a signal to the mind. We are not in danger. Once the body settles, the mind regains control. This sequence matters. Mind does not calm body under pressure. Body calms mind. Ignoring this leads to frustration. People tell themselves to calm down while their body is still in fight or flight. That never works. Training calm means working from the outside in. Over time, your nervous system adapts. What once felt overwhelming becomes manageable. Not because pressure disappeared, but because your tolerance increased. Tolerance is strength. People who can tolerate pressure can tolerate responsibility, complexity, uncertainty. That's why calm is a competitive advantage. In business, in relationships, in conflict, in decision-making. When others lose clarity, you gain it. When others speak impulsively, you choose your words. When others rush outcomes, you control timing. Timing decides outcomes. Many conflicts escalate unnecessarily because no one stayed calm long enough to de-escalate them. The calm person controls the temperature of the room. That control is silent but powerful. It changes how others behave around you. They slow down, they mirror your tone. They reconsider. This is influence without force. Calm also protects you from regret. Most regret comes from emotional decisions. Words spoken too quickly, actions taken too soon. Staying calm gives you space to act in alignment with your values. That alignment builds self-respect, and self-respect strengthens the inner game. Over time, calm becomes your default, not because life got easier, but because you stopped feeding urgency. Urgency is often imagined. Pressure is often exaggerated. A trained mind sees this clearly. It understands that very few moments require immediate reaction. Most require patience. The ability to pause under pressure is one of the highest forms of discipline. It is the difference between being controlled and being in control. As you move forward, remember this. Calm is not weakness. Calm is control. And control wins in every situation. In the next chapter, you'll learn how reactions give power away and how mastering your responses changes every interaction you have. Chapter 4. Control your reactions. Reactions feel automatic, but they are not uncontrollable. They are habits, and like all habits, they can be retrained. Most people believe reactions are honest. They think reacting quickly means being authentic. They confuse expression with strength. In reality, reaction is surrender. The moment you react without thought, you hand control to whatever triggered you. A comment, a delay, a tone, a situation you didn't expect. That trigger becomes the leader. You become the follower. Strong minds reverse that relationship. They don't eliminate reaction, they delay it. That delay is the difference between being provoked and being powerful. Reactions collapse space. Responses create space. Space allows choice. Choice restores control. This is why the pause is essential. When something triggers you, your first instinct is speed. You want to answer, to defend, to explain, to push back. Speed feels like strength, but speed under emotion is almost always weakness. The pause feels uncomfortable because it interrupts a familiar pattern. Your mind will pressure you. Say something now. Don't let this go. You'll look weak if you wait. That pressure is a lie. Silence does not weaken your position. Uncontrolled reaction does. People respect those who are not easily moved. They sense stability. They sense self-command. That is why reactive people are easy to manipulate. They advertise their triggers. A trained mind hides them. This doesn't mean becoming cold or disconnected. It means choosing when and how you engage. You don't need to win every exchange. You need to win your composure. Composure changes dynamics. When you don't react, others often escalate. They expect resistance. They expect emotion. When it doesn't come, they lose momentum. You gain it. This is not a tactic. It is a natural consequence of self-control. Reactions also distort reality. When emotions rise, your perception narrows. You hear less. You assume more. You misinterpret intentions. That's why arguments escalate. Two reactive minds create chaos. One controlled mind creates stability. Stability shifts outcomes. The key is not to suppress emotion. Suppression builds pressure. The key is to observe emotion without acting on it. Observation weakens its grip. When you notice a reaction forming, label it internally. Anger, defensiveness, impatience. Labeling creates distance. Distance restores agency. Once you have agency, as you can choose a response aligned with your standards. Sometimes the strongest response is no response. Not avoidance, not fear. Restraint. Restraint is misunderstood. It is not weakness. It is delayed power. Power applied at the right time is far more effective than power applied immediately. This applies everywhere. Conversations, work, conflict, negotiation. Those who react first reveal the most. Those who wait control the frame. Control of the frame means control of the outcome. Mastering reactions also protects your energy. Every emotional reaction costs mental resources. Reactive people are constantly drained. They fight battles that don't matter. Controlled people conserve energy for what does. This conservation compounds. Less regret, less stress, more clarity. Over time, your reactions slow naturally. Not because you are forcing restraint, but because restraint becomes identity. I am someone who does not give power away. That identity is strong. It makes you difficult to destabilize, difficult to rush, difficult to provoke. And in a world full of noise, that is a rare advantage. Control your reactions, and you control more than moments. You control direction, you control reputation, you control outcomes. In the next chapter, you'll learn why mental endurance is built through discomfort and how staying with difficulty creates unbreakable strength. Chapter 5. Build mental endurance. Mental endurance is not about intensity. It is about staying power. Most people can push hard for a short time. Very few can remain consistent when discomfort lingers. That difference decides outcomes. Mental endurance is the ability to remain steady when motivation fades, when results are slow, and when effort feels unrewarded. This is where most people quit. Not because they can't continue, but because they are no longer comfortable. The mind is wired to avoid discomfort. It seeks relief, distraction, and escape. When discomfort appears, untrained minds interpret it as a warning. This isn't working. This is too hard. I should stop. Those thoughts feel convincing, but they are not truth. They are resistance. Resistance appears whenever growth begins. If you stop every time resistance shows up, you train your mind to retreat. Mental endurance is trained by staying present inside discomfort without immediately trying to escape it. This doesn't mean forcing yourself endlessly. It means not quitting at the first sign of unease. Discomfort has levels. Initial discomfort is harmless. It is simply the nervous system adjusting to effort. Quitting too early teaches the mind that effort is dangerous. Staying just a little longer teaches the mind that effort is survivable. That lesson compounds. Endurance grows gradually. You don't become mentally strong through one heroic effort. You become strong through repeated exposure to mild discomfort that you choose not to avoid. This applies beyond physical effort. Mental endurance shows up in focus, in patience, in delayed gratification. Can you stay with a difficult task without checking for relief? Can you tolerate boredom without reaching for distraction? Can you continue when progress feels invisible? These are endurance tests. Modern life trains the opposite. Instant feedback, immediate entertainment, constant stimulation. This weakens the mind's ability to stay with effort. A trained mind resists that pull. It creates boundaries, not because comfort is evil, but because comfort, when unearned, erodes resilience. Endurance is built by choosing the harder option when the easier one is available. Staying focused instead of switching, finishing instead of abandoning, waiting instead of rushing. These choices seem small, but they shape identity. I am someone who stays. That identity changes how you approach challenges. Instead of asking, "How can I escape this?" you ask, "How can I remain steady?" Remaining steady does not mean ignoring limits. It means distinguishing between discomfort and damage. Discomfort strengthens, damage weakens. Learning the difference is part of training. Most people confuse the two because they have never stayed long enough to find out. Mental endurance also protects against emotional collapse. When you are used to discomfort, emotional swings lose their power. Stress becomes familiar. Pressure becomes manageable. This familiarity is calming. You no longer panic when things feel heavy. You trust your capacity to endure. That trust is powerful. It reduces anxiety because anxiety thrives on uncertainty. When you know you can stay with difficulty, you stop fearing it. Endurance also improves decision-making. When you are uncomfortable, the urge to make quick decisions increases. Endurance allows you to wait. Waiting prevents mistakes. Many poor decisions are made not because people lacked intelligence, but because they lacked endurance. They couldn't tolerate uncertainty long enough to see the situation clearly. A mentally enduring person can hold tension without rushing resolution. That ability creates better outcomes. Over time, endurance reshapes your baseline. What once felt exhausting becomes normal, not because it got easier, but because you got stronger. This is the quiet transformation most people never experience because they quit too early. Mental endurance does not seek praise. It does not announce itself. It shows up in consistency. Consistency builds trust. Trust builds momentum. Momentum changes life direction. When you build mental endurance, you stop asking how long it will take. You commit to staying until it's done. That commitment simplifies everything. No more constant evaluation, no more emotional bargaining. Just presence, effort, continuation. Mental endurance is not dramatic. It is reliable, and reliability wins more often than raw intensity ever will. The next chapter will show you how clarity becomes possible even in chaos when your mind is trained to cut through noise. Mental endurance also changes how you relate to failure. Untrained minds see failure as a signal to stop. They personalize it. They attach meaning too quickly. This proves I'm not good enough. This isn't for me. I always end up here. Those conclusions feel logical in the moment, but they are shortcuts. A mind with endurance does not rush to meaning. It stays with the experience longer. It separates outcome from identity. Failure becomes data, not a verdict. This distinction is critical. When failure attacks identity, people quit to protect their ego. When failure is treated as information, people adjust and continue. Mental endurance allows you to absorb setbacks without collapsing inward. You feel disappointment, but you don't spiral. You feel frustration, but you don't abandon the process. This emotional stability comes from repeated exposure to effort that didn't immediately pay off. Over time, your nervous system learns a new lesson. Setbacks are survivable. That lesson reduces fear. Fear shrinks ambition. Endurance expands it. And another overlooked aspect of mental endurance is silence. Silence is uncomfortable for many people. They fill it with noise, opinions, complaints, distractions. A mind with endurance can sit in silence without agitation. This matters more than it sounds. Silence sharpens perception. It reveals patterns. It exposes unnecessary thoughts. When you are always stimulated, your mind never strengthens its ability to hold focus. Endurance includes the ability to stay with your own thoughts without escaping them. This is why disciplined routines matter. Simple routines remove decision fatigue. They reduce the mental load of choosing again and again. When effort is predictable, endurance increases. You don't waste energy deciding whether to continue. Continuation becomes default. This also protects against burnout. Burnout is often mistaken for exhaustion. In reality, it is inconsistency, starting intensely, stopping suddenly, restarting with guilt. That cycle drains energy faster than steady effort ever could. Mental endurance breaks that cycle. It favors pace over bursts, consistency over extremes. A steady pace is sustainable. This is especially important in long-term goals, careers, relationships, personal growth. Anything meaningful requires time. If your mind is not trained to endure boredom, frustration, and slow progress, you will sabotage yourself repeatedly. Endurance also teaches humility. When you stay with something long enough, you realize how much you don't control. This realization is grounding. It reduces arrogance. It reduces impatience. You stop demanding instant results and start respecting process. Process thinking is a mark of maturity. Immature minds ask, "What do I get from this today?" Enduring minds ask, "Who am I becoming through this?" That question changes priorities. You stop chasing short-term validation. You start building long-term capacity. Capacity matters more than talent. Talent without endurance is wasted potential. Endurance without talent still produces results. This is why endurance levels the playing field. It allows ordinary people to achieve extraordinary outcomes simply by staying longer than others are willing to. Most competition disappears when endurance is high, not because others are weak, but because they opt out. They choose comfort. They choose distraction. They choose relief. You choose to stay. Staying rewires identity. I don't quit when it gets uncomfortable. I don't need immediate reward. I can handle this. Those beliefs become self-fulfilling. Your tolerance grows. Your confidence stabilizes. Your reactions soften. Mental endurance also improves patience with others. When you can tolerate internal discomfort, external frustration loses intensity. You become less reactive to delays, mistakes, and imperfections. This makes you easier to work with, stronger in leadership, and calmer in conflict. People feel safe around those who are not easily shaken. That safety creates influence. Influence does not come from force. It comes from steadiness. Steadiness is endurance made visible. As you continue this training, remember this. Endurance is built quietly. No one applauds consistency. No one celebrates patience. But life rewards it relentlessly. Those who can stay present, stay disciplined, and stay engaged outlast those who rely on intensity alone. Mental endurance is not glamorous. It is effective, and effectiveness is what wins in the long run. Chapter 6. Think clearly in chaos. Chaos does not destroy outcomes. Confusion does. Most people assume chaos means disorder outside of them. Too many tasks, too many opinions, too much information. In reality, chaos becomes dangerous only when it enters the mind. A chaotic environment can still be navigated by a clear mind. A calm environment becomes useless when the mind is scattered. This is why clarity is not dependent on conditions. It is dependent on training. Untrained minds react to chaos by speeding up. They rush decisions. They multitask. They consume more information, hoping clarity will appear. It never does. More input without structure creates more noise. A trained mind does the opposite. When chaos increases, it slows down. It reduces inputs. It narrows focus. It simplifies. This ability separates those who survive pressure from those who collapse under it. Clear thinking is not about intelligence. It is about restraint. Restraint from reacting to everything. Restraint from trying to solve everything at once. Restraint from mistaking urgency for importance. Chaos creates false urgency. Everything feels critical. Everything feels time-sensitive. Everything demands attention. But attention is finite. If you give it to everything, nothing gets it fully. Clear thinkers protect their attention aggressively. They understand one truth. You cannot think clearly if your mind is constantly switching. Switching feels productive, but it fragments thought. Fragmented thought leads to shallow decisions. Shallow decisions compound into problems. Clarity requires depth. Depth requires focus. Focus requires elimination. This is uncomfortable because elimination means saying no. No to distractions. No to unnecessary opinions. No to tasks that feel busy but add no value. Untrained minds avoid elimination because it creates fear. What if I miss something? What if this is important? What if I choose wrong? Those questions feel responsible, but they keep the mind paralyzed. Clear thinkers accept something different. You cannot eliminate all risk, but you can eliminate noise. Noise is anything that does not change the decision. Most information does not change the decision. It just creates anxiety. A trained mind asks a simple question. What is the one thing that matters most right now? Not 5 things. Not a list. 1. That question cuts through chaos. Once the priority is clear, everything else becomes secondary. Secondary does not mean irrelevant. It means not now. This sequencing is powerful. Chaos overwhelms people because they treat everything as simultaneous. Clear thinkers operate sequentially. One action at a time, one decision at a time, one problem at a time. This reduces cognitive load. Less cognitive load means better judgment. Judgment is what chaos tests. Under pressure, the brain seeks shortcuts. It relies on emotion, bias, habit. Without training, those shortcuts lead to predictable mistakes. Clear thinkers slow the process just enough to avoid those traps. They don't rush to conclusions. They don't fill gaps with assumptions. They ask fewer, better questions. Questions like, what do I actually know? What am I assuming? What can I control right now? These questions ground thinking. Grounded thinking stabilizes action. But another key to clarity in chaos is emotional regulation. Strong emotions distort perception. Fear magnifies threats. Anger narrows options. Excitement hides risk. If emotions run unchecked, clarity disappears. This does not mean suppressing emotion. It means preventing emotion from dominating interpretation. A trained mind acknowledges feeling without allowing it to define reality. I feel pressure, but this is manageable. I feel uncertainty, but I don't need to decide yet. This internal language matters. Language shapes perception. Perception shapes decision. When your internal language is dramatic, your thinking becomes dramatic. When your internal language is grounded, your thinking stabilizes. Chaos also tests patience. When situations are unclear, the urge to act increases. Action feels like control, but premature action often worsens chaos. Clear thinkers understand timing. They know when to act and when to wait. Waiting is not passive. It is active observation. Observation reveals patterns. Patterns clarify direction. Rushing skips this step. Many mistakes are not due to bad intent or lack of effort, but due to acting before clarity formed. Clear thinking respects the process. It allows ambiguity without panic. This tolerance for ambiguity is rare. Most people crave certainty. They want answers now. When certainty is unavailable, they invent it. They convince themselves of narratives that reduce discomfort. Those narratives feel comforting but lead to error. Clear thinkers resist this temptation. They remain neutral longer. Neutrality creates accuracy. Accuracy improves outcomes. Another important element is mental decluttering. Chaos outside often mirrors clutter inside. Too many unresolved tasks. Too many unfinished thoughts. Too many open loops. Each open loop drains attention. Clear minds close loops deliberately. They write things down. They externalize information. They don't rely on memory under stress. This frees mental space. Space is essential for clarity. When the mind is overloaded, even simple decisions feel heavy. Reducing load restores agility. Clarity also depends on values. When values are unclear, decisions become complicated. When values are clear, decisions simplify. A trained mind knows its priorities. What matters, what doesn't, what is non-negotiable. These internal rules act as filters. They remove options automatically. Without filters, everything feels equally important. With filters, choices narrow quickly. Chaos loses its power. Clear thinking is also supported by physical state. Lack of sleep, poor nutrition, chronic stress. These degrade clarity significantly. Mental training includes respecting the body, not perfectly, but consistently. A stable body supports a stable mind. Ignoring this creates unnecessary chaos. Clear thinkers don't rely on willpower alone. They build environments that support clarity. They reduce distractions. They create routines. They protect focus. This is not rigidity. It is design. Design prevents chaos from overwhelming the mind. Over time, clarity becomes habitual. You notice chaos earlier. You respond more deliberately. You make fewer impulsive decisions. Others may still feel overwhelmed. You feel steady, not because you know more, but because you think better. Clear thinking does not eliminate difficulty. It makes difficulty navigable. It allows you to move forward without losing direction. In chaotic situations, the calmest mind usually wins, not because it is faster, but because it sees clearly. And clarity is one of the strongest advantages you can train. Chapter 7. Train your self-talk. The voice in your head never stops speaking. It narrates your actions. It explains your failures. It predicts your future. Most people never question that voice. They assume it tells the truth. That assumption quietly shapes their entire life. Your self-talk is not commentary. It is instruction. It tells your nervous system how to respond. It tells your mind what to focus on. It tells your body whether to tighten or relax. If that voice is weak, chaotic, or hostile, your behavior will follow. Training your self-talk is not about being positive. It is about being precise. Untrained self-talk is emotional. It exaggerates. It generalizes. It dramatizes. I always mess this up. This is impossible. I'm not built for this. Those phrases feel natural, but they poison action. They collapse effort before it begins. A trained mind does not speak in absolutes. It speaks in instructions. This is uncomfortable, not dangerous. This requires patience. Focus on the next step. That difference matters. The mind follows language. If the language is unstable, the mind becomes unstable. Most people try to change behavior without changing the internal language driving it. That rarely works. Behavior obeys identity. Identity is reinforced by self-talk. If you repeatedly tell yourself you are reactive, you will react. If you repeatedly tell yourself you are disciplined, you will look for disciplined behavior. This is not affirmation, it is conditioning. Your mind believes what you repeat, especially under stress. Stress lowers filters. It reveals default programming. That's why training self-talk must happen before pressure arrives. You don't rise to positive thinking under stress. You fall to rehearsed language. Untrained self-talk is often inherited. Phrases picked up from parents, teachers, peers, past failures. They sound familiar, so they feel true. But familiarity is not accuracy. Accuracy requires intention. The first step in training self-talk is noticing tone, not content. Tone. Is your inner voice harsh, impatient, defeated, urgent? Tone sets emotional direction. A harsh tone creates tension. An urgent tone creates panic. A defeated tone drains energy. A trained inner voice is neutral and firm. Not kind, not cruel. Clear. Clear language creates clear action. Instead of saying, "This is overwhelming," a trained voice says, "This is complex. Break it down." Instead of saying, "I can't deal with this," it says, "Handle the next requirement." These shifts seem small. They are not. They redirect attention. Self-talk tells your mind where to look. Dramatic language looks for escape. Instructional language looks for execution. Execution builds momentum. Another common mistake is using self-talk to evaluate worth. I should be better by now. Others handle this better than me. Comparison weakens self-command. A trained mind separates performance from identity. You don't insult yourself for mistakes. You correct behavior. Correction moves forward. Insult stalls progress. Internal insults do not motivate. They exhaust. The mind cannot lead itself if it is constantly under attack. Training self-talk means becoming your own authority, not your own critic. Authority sets standards. Criticism creates fear, and fear distorts thinking. Strong self-talk is directive, not emotional. It does not ask, "How do I feel?" It asks, "What is required?" Requirements are objective. Feelings are not. This is especially important during setbacks. After a failure, untrained self-talk spirals. I knew this would happen. Why do I always do this? What's wrong with me? Those questions have no useful answers. A trained mind asks different questions. What failed? What can be adjusted? What stays the same? These questions create learning. Learning prevents repetition. Repetition without learning is discouragement. Learning without emotion is progress. Self-talk also determines resilience. When things go wrong, the inner voice either escalates or stabilizes the situation. Escalating language adds pressure. Stabilizing language restores control. "I'm behind" creates urgency. "I have time to choose correctly" creates space. Space allows better decisions. A trained mind protects space internally, even when time is limited externally. Another element of self-talk training is consistency. Many people speak to themselves differently depending on mood. Encouraging one day, defeated the next. That inconsistency creates instability. A trained inner voice is consistent. It does not fluctuate wildly. It does not negotiate standards. It sounds the same on good days and bad days. This reliability builds trust. When you trust your inner voice, you act faster. You stop doubting yourself mid-action. You stop seeking external reassurance. That independence is strength. Self-talk also shapes how you interpret others. If your internal voice is defensive, you will perceive threats everywhere. If it is grounded, you will perceive information. This affects relationships deeply. Many conflicts are fueled by internal narratives, not actual events. Training self-talk reduces unnecessary conflict by reducing misinterpretation. You stop assuming intent. You respond to facts. That clarity improves communication. Another overlooked aspect is silence. Trained self-talk knows when not to speak. Not every thought deserves airtime. You don't need to comment on every sensation, every doubt, every impulse. Silence creates focus. An overactive inner narrator creates distraction. A trained mind uses language sparingly. It speaks when direction is needed. It stays quiet when action is clear. This restraint conserves energy. Energy saved internally is energy available externally. Over time, trained self-talk becomes automatic. You no longer correct every phrase consciously. The tone shifts naturally. This is the result of repetition. You replace weak phrases not once, but repeatedly. You interrupt exaggeration again and again. You choose precision over drama. Eventually, precision becomes default. This changes how pressure feels. Pressure no longer triggers panic. It triggers instruction. What's the move? What matters most? What stays under control? That mindset is powerful because in every situation, the voice in your head sets the ceiling for your behavior. If that voice is scattered, you scatter. If that voice is steady, you steady. Training your self-talk is training leadership. Leadership over attention. Leadership over emotion. What's leadership over action? And once that leadership is established, external chaos loses much of its influence. The world may still be loud. Situations may still be uncertain. But internally, you are directed. You know what to do. You know how to respond. Not because someone told you, but because your mind speaks clearly. That clarity is earned, and it is one of the most powerful forms of mental strength you can build. Chapter 8. Show up no matter what. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they disappear. They disappear when motivation fades. They disappear when progress slows. They disappear when effort stops feeling exciting. Showing up is the rarest skill. It sounds simple. It is not. Showing up means acting without emotional permission. It means continuing without reassurance. It means staying engaged when there is no immediate reward. Untrained minds wait for alignment. They wait to feel ready. They wait for clarity, confidence, or motivation. Those states are unreliable. A trained mind does not wait. It moves on schedule. Schedule beats mood every time. When you show up consistently, you remove decision-making from the equation. There is no debate. There is no negotiation. You don't ask whether today feels right. Next, you act because this is what you do. This consistency builds identity. Identity is stronger than motivation. Motivation fluctuates. Identity holds. When you see yourself as someone who shows up, absence becomes uncomfortable. Skipping feels wrong. Quitting feels foreign. This internal pressure is healthy. It replaces external discipline with internal expectation. Showing up also trains self-respect. Every time you follow through, you reinforce trust with yourself. Self-trust is foundational. Without it, confidence collapses under pressure. With it, you act decisively. Decisiveness is not certainty, it is commitment. Showing up teaches commitment. You commit to effort without knowing the outcome. That willingness is rare. Most people want guarantees before they invest. They want proof before they act. Life does not work that way. Progress rewards participation, not certainty. Those who show up without guarantees eventually gain leverage. Because consistency compounds. Small efforts, repeated, create momentum. Momentum simplifies action. Once momentum exists, continuing requires less effort than stopping. Stopping breaks rhythm. Restarting costs energy. That's why showing up is easier when it becomes uninterrupted. Untrained minds underestimate this. They believe missing a day doesn't matter. They believe breaks are harmless. Occasionally they are. But frequent interruption prevents compounding. A trained mind protects continuity, not perfection. Continuity. You don't need flawless execution. You need repeated presence. Presence creates familiarity. Familiarity reduces resistance. Resistance is the main obstacle. Resistance appears when effort feels forced. But effort feels forced when it is inconsistent. When something becomes routine, resistance fades. This is why disciplined routines matter. Routines remove emotion from action. You don't decide, you execute. Execution is easier than decision-making. Decision-making drains energy. Showing up also reshapes how you experience boredom. Boredom is not the enemy, it is the gateway. Boredom appears when novelty disappears. Most people interpret boredom as a signal to stop. A trained mind interprets boredom as a signal of depth. Depth is where mastery forms. When novelty fades, the surface distractions disappear. What remains is the work itself. Staying with the work when it is no longer stimulating is how skill deepens. This applies everywhere. Work, training, relationships, personal growth. Those who leave when boredom appears stay average. Those who remain move beyond average. Showing up also trains humility. You stop expecting constant excitement. You stop demanding emotional rewards. You accept that progress is often quiet. Quiet progress is sustainable. Loud progress attracts attention, but often burns out quickly. A trained mind prefers quiet progress. It values stability over praise. This preference protects focus. Focus protects quality. Quality compounds into reputation. Reputation opens doors. But none of that happens if you don't show up. Showing up also strengthens emotional regulation. When you act consistently, emotions lose control over your behavior. You feel tired and still act. You feel uncertain and still act. You feel unmotivated and still act. This creates emotional resilience. Resilience reduces fear. Fear thrives on avoidance. When you avoid showing up, fear grows. When you show up anyway, fear shrinks. This is not bravery. It is exposure. Repeated exposure teaches the nervous system that action is safe. Safety reduces anxiety. Reduced anxiety improves performance. Performance reinforces confidence. Confidence encourages continued showing up. Another loop forms. This loop is powerful. It turns effort into habit, habit into identity, identity into results. Showing up also simplifies long-term goals. Instead of focusing on outcomes, you focus on attendance. Did I show up today? Yes or no? That question is controllable. Outcomes are not always controllable. Attendance is. This shift reduces pressure. Pressure often paralyzes. Attendance frees action. You stop obsessing over results and start investing in process. Process thinking is mature thinking. It reduces emotional volatility. It allows patience. Patience supports endurance. Showing up also changes how others perceive you. People trust consistency. They trust those who arrive reliably. Reliability builds credibility. Credibility creates influence. Influence creates opportunity. Opportunities are often given to those who have proven they won't disappear. Talent attracts attention. Consistency earns responsibility. Responsibility leads to growth. This applies across domains. In work, consistent people are promoted. In relationships, consistent people are trusted. In personal development, consistent people transform, not quickly, but permanently. Showing up also removes excuses. Excuses thrive in inconsistency. I missed yesterday, so today doesn't matter. That logic only works when attendance is optional. When attendance is non-negotiable, excuses lose power. You don't explain, you don't justify, you act. This simplicity is liberating. It removes internal conflict. Conflict drains energy. Energy conserved is energy applied. Over time, showing up becomes who you are, not something you force. At that point, discipline feels lighter. Not because effort decreased, but because resistance did. Life does not become easier, you become steadier. Steadiness is underrated. Steady people are not flashy. They are effective. They don't spike and crash. They progress. Progress is cumulative. Years of showing up create outcomes that look sudden to those who weren't watching. From the outside, it looks like overnight success. From the inside, it feels like inevitability. That inevitability is earned. Showing up no matter what is not dramatic. It does not feel heroic. It feels ordinary. That is its power. Ordinary actions, repeated, produce extraordinary stability. And stability is one of the greatest advantages you can have in an unpredictable world. You cannot control every situation. You cannot control every outcome. But you can control this, whether you show up. And those who show up again and again eventually win in more situations than those who don't. You've reached the end of this audiobook, but the work itself is just beginning. What you've heard over these 70 minutes is not a theory. It is not inspiration. It is a training framework, a way to operate when life applies pressure. Most people search for answers outside themselves. They look for better circumstances, better timing, better motivation. But the real advantage has always been internal. Control. Control over reactions. Control over attention. Control over behavior when emotions fluctuate. Throughout this audiobook, you've been introduced to 8 core principles. Winning the inner game. Choosing discipline over feelings. Staying calm under pressure. Controlling reactions. Building mental endurance. Thinking clearly in chaos. Training your self-talk. Showing up no matter what. These are not separate ideas. They reinforce each other. Together, they form a system designed to keep you steady in situations that break others. This system does not require exceptional talent. It does not demand perfection. It demands consistency. Consistency in how you respond. Consistency in how you think. Consistency in how you show up. That consistency becomes identity, and identity is stronger than motivation will ever be. As you move forward, don't try to apply everything at once. Training doesn't work that way. Choose one principle, practice it deliberately. Notice when emotions try to lead. Notice when urgency tries to rush you. Notice when discomfort tries to push you away. Those moments are the training. Instead of resisting them, use them. Pause, breathe, choose. That simple sequence creates space, and in that space, you regain control. You don't need to eliminate pressure. Pressure is unavoidable. You need to increase your capacity. Capacity allows you to hold more responsibility, more uncertainty, more challenge without losing clarity. That is mental strength. Mental strength is quiet. It doesn't announce itself. And it shows up in decisions that don't need explanation. It shows up in a restraint. When would it feel easier? It shows up in consistency when quitting would feel justified. Over time, those choices compound, not dramatically, reliably. And reliability wins more often than intensity. If there is one idea to carry with you, let it be this. You don't win in life by waiting for perfect conditions. You win by becoming the kind of person who stays in control in imperfect ones. That control is not gifted, it is trained. Train your mind daily, not when it's easy, not when you feel inspired. Train it when it matters, when emotions rise, when pressure builds, when results are uncertain. Those moments define outcomes. As you step back into your life, remember this. You may not control every situation, but you always control your response. And when you control your response, you control your direction. That is how winning actually happens. Not by chance, not by luck, by training. Train your mind, and you will be ready for every situation. Before you move on, understand this clearly. Mental training is not something you complete. It is something you maintain. Just like physical strength fades when training stops, mental strength weakens when discipline disappears. There will be days when everything feels aligned, and there will be days when nothing does. The purpose of training is not to eliminate bad days. It is to prevent bad days from controlling your behavior. This is where most people relapse into old patterns. They train when life is calm, then abandon structure when life becomes chaotic. But chaos is when training matters most, when routines break, when pressure rises, when emotions feel louder. That is when you return to the fundamentals. Control your breath, slow your reactions, simplify decisions, show up anyway. You don't need to do more. You need to do what works consistently. Mental training is cumulative. Each small act of discipline adds a layer of resilience. Each moment of restraint strengthens your internal authority. Each time you show up without emotional permission, you reinforce identity. That identity will carry you through moments when motivation disappears entirely. There will be times when no one sees your effort. No one praises your restraint. No one acknowledges your consistency. That is normal. Mental strength is built in private. The reward is not applause. The reward is stability. Stability in how you think. Stability in how you act. Stability in how you handle pressure. And that stability changes how life responds to you. People trust you more, situations feel less overwhelming, decisions become cleaner, not because the world softened, but because you hardened intelligently. You didn't become rigid, you became grounded. That is the goal. So when you feel tested again, and you will, remember this. You are not behind, you are not failing, you are training. Return to the principles, apply them quietly, and keep moving forward. That is how control becomes natural. And when control becomes natural, winning stops feeling rare and starts feeling repetitive.